Ubisoft touts subscription services as the future of gaming and says players need to start, quote, feeling comfortable with not owning their games.
How about you start feeling comfortable without my money in your wallet, bitch?
You'll own nothing and you'll like it.
I thought this was great. If purchase isn't ownership, then piracy isn't theft.
Yeah, that's exactly what Louis Rossman said in his one video. I'm like, damn, son.
No, seriously, with the whole like Capcom DRM shit, it's like, the piracy people don't have to deal with this shit. They once it's cracked, it's cracked. They're not updating it. They don't give a shit. It's theirs. Capcom, Ubisoft, they're not going to take the game from them. And I mean, that's probably, to be honest, that's probably why they're going to subscription.
Oh yeah, they want the control back. They're going to wrestle it away from you.
Yeah,
they don't think you can quit games cold turkey.
Life will find a way. Yeah. If everyone moves to cloud-based streaming, like, people will find a way to still get the game.
Look, they have done their damnedest to control everything, to make it so that they're, because look, we all know that if you just made a fucking good game, that didn't, capitulate to ESG grant stuff, all that crap, that it would sell like hotcakes, right? But they have ways of ensuring that it never gets onto a platform like Steam or whatever, and it becomes that much more difficult, because you got to run it as an executable file or whatever on computers, and they have done their damnedest to create an ecosystem in which they can reign supreme and control everything and nickel and dime every gamer, right? So in offering his support to the dystopian concept of you will own nothing and be happy, Ubisoft Director of Subscriptions, Philippe Tremblay, has opined that not only is the subscription-based service model an overall boon to the video game industry, but that the main factor standing in its widespread adoption by developers is the fact that players still prefer, quote, having and owning their games. Just wait until you hear what is stuck in this guy's craw. Tremblay shared his anti-consumer take on the medium's future following the announcement that Ubisoft's own in-house subscription service would be rebranded under collective banner of Ubisoft Plus Premium. As explained by the developer in a January 15th blog post, Ubisoft Plus Multi-Access and PC Access will now become Ubisoft Plus Premium, offering day one new releases and early access where applicable, alongside premium editions, monthly rewards, and more. Ubisoft is also introducing a new offer, Ubisoft Plus Classics on PC, a curated selection of popular back catalog and live games. Elaborating on the difference between these subscription tiers, Tremblay explained in the same post, quote, premium means day one access to new releases and in some cases, like Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, early access to upcoming new releases. This is on top of our extensive back catalog where you'll have access to premium editions, DLC, and monthly rewards. All of this is offered on Xbox, PC, and Amazon Luna, and you'll only need to subscribe once to have access to these games across all these platforms. Players can subscribe to Ubisoft Plus Premium for a monthly fee of $17.99. Alternatively, players can subscribe to Ubisoft Plus Classics, a curated selection of our most popular back catalog games like Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Siege, and Watch Dogs Legion. This catalog will grow with time, is included for PlayStation Plus Extra and PlayStation Plus Premium members, and is now available on PC through the Ubisoft Store for $8 per month.
So you have to subscribe twice.
Yes.
Exactly the opposite of what's
later pressed as the decisions which led to his company's shift during an interview with Game Industry Biz Christopher Dring. The Ubisoft director detailed, we looked at the consumer behavior and how people were interacting with our offer, and we saw an opportunity for us to evolve. We look at how gamers engage with our different games. We see that our back catalog is still very active and alive. Translation, people are not buying the new shit we're putting out, but are still playing games from our heyday, and we needed to figure out a way to monetize that. We needed to figure out a way to make you pay us $8 a month for that. We needed to figure out a way so that you get charged for what used to be free. So we saw an opportunity to offer these worlds to our consumers for a lower fee. And this is a response to the behavior that we saw from players. To this end, Tremblay then told Dring that the move was also motivated by the fact that Ubisoft streaming services have supposedly been proving to be a way for gamers to access our worlds who perhaps weren't inclined to purchase. These players are brand new, he asserted. We're shaking hands for the first time. It's been Ubisoft's strategy for as long as I've been here to try and reach more players with the franchises that we have. So I'm happy, as the leader of this product, to be able to deliver on that. From there, making note of the very noted resistance video game players in particular have shown to signing away their consumer rights to a variety of digital storefronts, Dring then asked Tremblay as to how Ubisoft sought to sell their subscription services to this hesitant demographic. Quote, I don't have a crystal ball, but when you look at the different subscription services that are out there, we've had a rapid expansion over the last couple of years, but it's still relatively small compared to other models. We're seeing expansion on console as the likes of PlayStation and Xbox bring new people in. On PC, from Ubisoft's standpoint, it's already been great, but we are looking to reach out more on PC, and so we see opportunity there.
PC Master Race, that's all I can tell you.
Then turning to highlight what he saw as the primary roadblock to players signing up for streaming services in droves, Tremblay opined, quote, one of the things we saw is that gamers are used to a little bit like DVD, having and owning their games. That's the consumer shift that needs to happen, he declared. They got comfortable not owning their CD collection or DVD collection. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen in games. As gamers grow comfortable in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at another time, your progress file is still there. That's not been deleted. You don't lose what you've built in the game or your engagement with the game. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game.
Bitch, I don't have to update my CD to listen to it.
Yeah.
You know why people don't give a shit about their CD collections anymore?
Because they have it. They have an MP3 that you aren't taking from them because
And
they
even
weren't
better,
stupid enough to buy everything on iTunes.
And
where
also,
they can
those-
take it away.
those MP3s are literally everywhere. That's the key, right?
And
Like,
you
even
can
if
just
I
listen to anything on YouTube anyway.
even if I don't have the MP3, right? I know that song is somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
I can go find it. And even if they updated the version on iTunes to some scent, like Green Day, if they
Yeah, I
updated
was gonna
American
bring it up.
Idiot to put in the
MAGA
MAGA,
agenda or
shit.
whatever.
The old versions, 1,000 million times on the internet somewhere. I can go find it.
On MySpace even. Playing on your profile still.
Yeah. With DVDs, it's less so, and I think people are finally coming around to that. Like, oh shit, these streaming services
Especially,
are changing stuff.
Yeah, especially with that. Yeah, because although there has been in recent examples a couple of songs that have been altered, right? Like you said, the old version is still readily available and easy to get. Movies has been a different thing because, like you said, we have seen the Ooh La La scene from fucking Back to the Future getting outright cut in a jarring way that actually disrupts the immersion of watching the movie, right?
Yeah, or
There's
that Tom Hanks movie.
yeah, with the girl
the
diving
hair on
into
her
the,
ass.
where they literally just stamp tooled the animation of her hair down lower so that it covered her ass when she jumped into the water. Like, people, this is fresh in my mind, of all the shit they've tried to retroactively change to not make it offensive to any given person on the planet.
Or just taking out songs, like,
Yeah.
they touch DVDs, and DVDs are starting to get to the size where it's like, that isn't going to be on the internet everywhere because it's a couple megabytes, right?
Yeah.
So it has to be stored intentionally somewhere.
It's a completely different thing. You're 100% right.
And so having that physical media is a lot more appreciated when you know, okay, well, at least I know it's here. I have a copy,
Mhm.
right? And then games is even worse. People don't
Yeah.
have game copies everywhere on their, on the internet. Even like pirated versions, like for older games, retro games. There's some retro games you cannot find on the internet,
Mhm.
or if you do, it's like the sketchiest website ever, and like good luck on not getting a virus if you try to download it, right? So
Mhm.
this that's why you want your physical copy of the game, and people, yes, in PC gaming land, they have kind of given up on, we don't need the physical copy anymore, but that's only because of the 30 years of trust that Steam has built up with people,
Mhm.
or 25 years or whatever.
Yeah.
If the game gets taken off the store, you'll still have access to the game. You know,
Yeah.
um, the one downside is that they added the forced fucking updates feature, which was stupid. But so a company can, update your game and add DRM or whatever the fuck they want to. But um, and maybe we might see a small movement of people that want physical PC games as well coming. But where you go to the move of, well, let's make it all just subscription streaming fucking shit. That's the only reason that they're doing that is because they want to be able to bank
Infinite
on
money.
their, yeah, well, they want to be able to bank on their good games in their past that they've had, so that they can fund their new games and keep the company going, right? um, But
Hmm.
it's like, just sell me the old games individually. Why do I have to pay a subscription service? Like, yeah, I'll pay, for the Prince of Persia remake that was going to get announced, or that got announced and then canceled, and then I think it's back in development or again, the Sands of Time remake. Uh, if you put out a decent remake of that, I'll buy it again. Sure. Um, it's but like their new games are shit, so I'm not going to buy that game. You know, you put out Chaos, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory again. Okay, I'll buy that upgrade, but you know, whatever Rayman Rabbits or whatever the fucking game is, no, I'm not. I don't care about that game. But with a subscription, it's like I have to buy all the games. You know.
This is the very end of the article, by the way, right here. Streaming is also a thing that works really well with subscription. He concluded of his thoughts on the topic. So you pay when you need it, as opposed to paying all the time. No, paying once and never needing to pay your ass again is the one I choose. Anyway,
That's how Photoshop gets us, though.
emulation is booming on YouTube. You can emulate every system since the beginning of time. RetroArch, a front end for emulation, is even on Steam.
Yeah, RetroArch is like if you took one emulator and just uh, put them all together into one little like
Mhm.
hub.
Yeah, we covered this too, where they were removing smoking and cigarettes from old movies and comic books, where they were like haphazardly removing cigars from Wolverine's hands. Game publishers have made getting physical copies impossible, and resellers have made them insanely expensive. Stay tuned.
Oh, I remember the thing I was gonna say is that games, unlike like I guess you could say CDs, yeah, are kind of like this, but
Mhm.
unlike movies or anime, like we have our thousands of anime in our collection,
Mhm.
you use that disc constantly over and over again for hours and hours on end.
Mhm.
So your disc is going to get roughed up. So it's even worse because like you have the physical copy, but you have to get even more of the physical copy.
Mm.
Uh, you know, God forbid that game breaks. So I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess the subscription would be arguing that, well, when your game breaks, you have a digital copy.
Well, in
Well,
theory, the uh, what's it call it? The Copyright Office has allowed cracking games for backup purposes, right?
mhm.
But I mean, you shouldn't have to do that either. But
Old Man
these
goes
are
on
the
to
rules.
say games that are now that are on streamed from
Steam.
servers or tied to servers will disappear when the servers stop. Yeah, like fucking that Love Live game that's going to only be up for 3 months. There will be no backup of those games. It'll be like they never existed. That's why
There
Ubisoft
are
wants everything online served from them.
Local
Yeah.
servers
Yeah.
that people
There-
make.
Imagine though,
Yeah.
like we now live in a world where and this is like the state of streaming right now. Like Netflix, everybody went to Netflix because it was better than trying to watch cable TV. Ads everywhere. Like we got our entertainment from YouTube and Netflix because it was better. But now we have YouTube with their ad block stuff going on. We have Netflix stopping you from sharing passwords and creating tiers now where you have mandatory ads. You have to watch or pay more, right? So basically, we're now returning to the world of cable TV where we have to pay for the channels we want. And we have to pay even more to have those channels without ads, right? Like previously, it's like you bought cable and you got 100 channels. Half of them are in Spanish and you didn't want them to begin with. There's maybe 4 you actually give a shit about, right? Well, now you have to buy the entire thing again. Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus. Like you're spending an arm and a leg monthly just to even have this shit. Now game companies want in on that too. $18 a fucking month for Ubisoft? No, thank you. Plus another $8 to have the classics catalog. Imagine the people who don't pay for the classics catalog. Ubisoft is going to be looking like, well, we don't want to give people in the classics catalog access to this new game because now it's crossed that threshold where it's 4 months old or whatever the fuck it's going to be, right? But also, it's like, look at all the people who are currently playing it who don't have the $8 add-on for the classics game. Let's fuck those guys over and move it into the classics game category. Now they have to pay us $8 a month to continue playing new game. Like
This is the subscription thing. Kind of reminds me of this battle pass trend. How everyone's like, oh yeah, just get the battle pass. When back in the day, it used to just be like, do your microtransaction, outright buy like the skin or whatever you want on League or something, and there you go, you have it. You might have paid $20 or whatever, but you have it. Whereas now battle pass is like, oh well, get this and then you can work towards the rewards, so you have to
Yeah.
take a month to grind out to get the full extent of your rewards.
Pay us
Even though
$30 to play the game, to force you to play the game for a month, and if you don't beat it in the month, you can't get the cool item that you paid $20 for.
yeah, and every single game
gaming.
does this.
Like,
So now you have
yeah.
to log into
10
10 games daily just to meet your minimum threshold of your battle pass thing. So at that point, that's where it's like, bring back the old microtransactions where you could just buy
It's
your stupid skin.
incredible. You will start playing a game that has a dopamine hit that's like addictive for like one day, and then it quickly becomes far more work than is necessary for the fix, and you're like, I'm done. Like, fuck it. Like, I can't believe modern gaming. It's absolutely absurd.
I wonder if they're going to take their old games with this new subscription thing. I wonder if they're going to take their old games off of Steam, because right now you can still go get like the old Prince of Persia games on Steam.
I
But
bought all of them for like
we've covered
$10,
this
I
before.
think.
The reason that they remake all of these games is because they want you to have to buy it again to play it on the next console. Like the reason they're doing all of this stuff is to create a world where you cannot play without paying.
That's why PlayStation was working on not giving backwards compatibility like Xbox was, because they're like, well, we can capitalize on this and resell it.
Yeah, like you were gone while I said it, but if they make the game and they remaster it, I don't mind paying for it again, right? Like,
yeah, if
the
they
original
do a
ones are
job.
Yeah, the original game might be clunky, give me HD graphics,
but
modern
am
controls.
I wrong? Or
But yeah, there is
I
definitely
feel
some like Spider-Man for the PS4. They wanted you to pay for it again to get the PS5 version, right?
Well, I feel like I have covered more botched remasters than good ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's usually, they might add 2 good things, but then they take away 3 of the things that you wanted, right?
Well, not even taking away, just doing a shitty job.
Yeah,
You know,
well, I mean,
fucking
taking away
Silent Hill 2 got an HD remaster, and for some reason they couldn't even keep the texture maps locked to the UV coordinates they're supposed to be on. So a character would load and her teeth texture would be on her eyeballs.
yeah,
You know, like
yeah, that
like
too.
shit like that. That like and sometimes the game becomes unplayable the way
Yeah,
that they build it out. Like
in
it
the
actually cannot be finished, and they still release that shit as though it's okay.